What do we call biological life?
Yeah, well, I mean, so this is something that sort of it's useful for me to think about in sort of the aging field as well. But
Uh-huh.
when you get into that field of like the RNA world and sort of origins of life,
Yeah.
and there are a decent number of groups who study that sort of thing. That sort of idea of what is life and how can it be defined?
Yeah.
Um, and I think like in the past, sort of even in high school, you get like a definition for what is life, but it's not really a definition, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
composed of cells,
Right.
can
It's a description.
self-replicate, yeah. It's like here are all the properties that most life has.
Yeah.
Um, and that's fine, and pretty much like
Mhm.
if you're a biologist, you're not generally that confused about whether the thing you're studying is a living thing or a non-living thing.
Right.
But but when you get into origins of life, then it's a little bit more contentious.
Yeah.
And sort of, if you have an enzyme that can replicate itself, but you have to give it all these things and sort of make conditions just right, does that really count?
Right.
So and just skipping ahead, like I think in the aging field, there's a similar issue of like when you talk like what is aging, what are the problems
Right.
of aging?
Yeah.
You can list examples of it, and but it's a little bit harder to define. And sort of deeper questions like is anything that changes as a function of time, is that really what we're talking about as aging or
Mhm.
not? It's sort of it's not really for most people. It's like working in most fields, you don't need to have that sort of nuance
Right.
about whether it is aging or isn't aging, but you start to
Mhm.
work in that field, and the sort of well, I know it when I see it kind of explanation that works 99% of the time is no longer can be a guide all of the
Yeah.
time.